All right, folks, let us try this again and see if we can't get back online. Changed one of the settings, and when we last left the ball game, it was Alex Rodriguez who had grounded out to third base, and this brings to the plate the number 3 hitter, Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey is semi-champion, full home run king, full slugger. So he has the pop, and on a roll of 5-5-6. Is Colon an ace? No. Is the batter a sad sack? No. That's going to be a double to right field. So Griffey gets a hold of one and sends it into the right field corner and winds up at second base with a double. So the Mariners again getting off to a good start here offensively as they try to get it done. It looks like I do have one watcher in the chat room, so if you could let me know if you're hearing and seeing things okay, I would sure appreciate it, as we have changed the settings. And I will continue on with the ball game as Griffey pulls into second base. Next up is Edgar Martinez, one man out, Griffey on second base, and Martinez stepping in against Bartolo Colon. The roll is a 4-5-5. Is the pitcher a flash? He is a semi-flash, but the decider die says no. Is the batter a home run king? He is not. He is a semi-champion, but he is not a home run king. And the end result is going to be a ground out to first base. Martinez grounds out to first base. Griffey will move to third on the play. And with 2 men out, Jay Buhner will come to the plate. So score that 3 unassisted. Griffey moves to third on the play. And your 2-out batter is Jay Buhner. All right, looks like we've got some folks here in the chat room. The screen is back on live. The settings seem to be looking good. Thank you, Randy Luxembourg and Philip Reynolds, for your patience. And let's go back to the ball game. We're here at U.S. Cellular Field, the old Comiskey Field, actually the old new Comiskey Field. And Buhner is the batter with 2 outs and Ken Griffey at third base. Mariners already up 1-0. The pitch from Colon is a 1-2-3. Is Colon both flash and fresh? He is fresh. He's a semi-flash, and the decider die says yes, and that will be a strikeout. So that ends the inning. But the Mariners do get a run to start things off. And as we go to the bottom of the first, it's the Mariners 1 and the White Sox coming to bat. Aaron Rowan will lead things off for the Sox. Stepping in against the left-hander Sterling Hitchcock. Hitchcock a semi-struggler, semi-flash, semi-control. And the first pitch from Hitchcock is a 4-5-5. Is he a flash? The decider die says no. Is Rowan to home run king? The decider says yes. It is deep to right field, and it is out of here. Aaron Rowan does just what Joey Cora did to open the top of the first. And the leadoff hitter for both teams has homered, and it's a 1-1 ball game. That will bring to the plate Carlos Lee. Carlos Lee against Sterling Hitchcock. Tied at 1 now, nobody out. The pitch from Hitchcock is a 1-1-4. Is Hitchcock fresh? Yes, he is. That's a ground out to shortstop. Next up, Maglio Ordonez, 5 for 5 in Game 1 of this series. Stepping in against Hitchcock. The pitch is a 1-6-6. Is Hitchcock a workman? No. He is a semi-struggler. Is Ordonez a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says yeah, and that's a strikeout. So Hitchcock does what Jamie Moyer could not do in Game 1 and retires Maglio Ordonez. And with 2 men out, Frank Thomas is your batter. Thomas the DH tonight. Right-hand batter against Hitchcock the lefty. The roll is a 1-2-3. Is the pitcher both flash and fresh? He is fresh. He's a semi-flash. The decider die says yes, and that is a strikeout. So Frank Thomas goes down swinging, and that ends the first inning. After one complete, it's a 1-1 ball game. On leadoff home runs by both leadoff hitters to open the first inning. Paul Sorrento comes up to bat now for the Mariners to lead off the top of the second. Standing in against Colon, the roll is a 2-2-3. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter a slugger? He is a semi-slugger, but the decider die says no. And the result of that play is going to be a single to left field. So Sorrento goes the other way with that one. And for the second straight inning, the leadoff batter has connected against Colon. Now Dan Wilson steps in. He's a hero and a semi-home run king. Pitch from Colon is a 2-5-6. Is Colon a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? No. That takes us to the infield drama chart for the first time tonight. The roll on the infield drama chart is a 1-3. Is the third baseman iron? Your third baseman for the White Sox tonight is Joe Crede. He is not iron. In fact, he is semi-gold. So that will go as a routine ground out. And on a lead die of 1, that's going to go as a double play. So a nice pickup by Crede. He goes around the horn to Graffinito and on to Konerko for the double play. And quickly there are 2 men out. So Wilson bangs into the pitcher's best friend, and that will bring to the plate the hot-hitting Rich Amaral for Seattle. Amaral against Colon. The pitch is a 2-4-4. Is Colon an ace? No. Is Amaral a champion? No. Is he a whiffer? The decider die says yes. That's a strikeout. So Rich Amaral strikes out to end the inning, and Colon escapes the leadoff hit without any damage. We go to the bottom of the second, and it's still tied at 1. Joe Crede made that nice play in the top of the inning, and he leads off the bottom of the second for the White Sox against Sterling Hitchcock. Hitchcock winds and delivers a 2-3-6. Is he a double control or dynamic? No. Is this the pitcher batting? No. Crede draws the walk. First walk of the game surrendered by either pitcher. Crede is a stoic runner, so he's no threat to steal. And it will be Paul Konerko now standing in against Sterling Hitchcock. Crede at first base, no one out here in the bottom of the second. The pitch from Hitchcock is a 3-3-4. Is he an ace or a star? No. Is the batter a sad sack? No. Is the batter eager? No. That's going to go as a single to left. On a lead die of 3, runners advance 2 bases on any hit, single or double. See below a stoic runner on first base. Stoic runner on first base advances only to second on any single. Crede is indeed stoic, so he's going to stop at second. It would make sense if the ball was hit to left field. Amaral comes up quickly, holds Crede at second base, but the White Sox have it going here in the bottom of the second with runners at first and second and nobody out. So score that a single. Crede moves to second, Konerko to first, and Tony Graffinito has a chance for another big hit for the White Sox. He had the big hit in Game 1, a bases clearing double that broke the game open for the White Sox. This time the pitch is a 2-2-5. Is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a slugger or a sad sack? He is a semi-slugger, and the decider die says yes, and that is going to be a pop out to right field. The runners will hold as Jay Buhner, the strong-armed right fielder, moves under that and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Up next is Jose Valentin, the switch-hitting shortstop, standing in right-handed against the lefty Sterling Hitchcock. The pitch from Hitchcock is a 3-5-6. Are the pitcher and batter the same? No. Is the batter a utility or a sad sack? He is a semi-utility, but the decider die says no. and that's going to be a single down the third baseline. And that will score the runner from second. Creedy will score. Konerko is also a stoic runner, so he will hold up at second base. But on the hit by Jose Valentin, the White Sox take a 2-1 lead. So score that a single. Creedy will score. Konerko holds up at second. Valentin pulls into first. The White Sox have scored again against Sterling Hitchcock, and it's now a 2-1 ball game, with Miguel Olivo coming to the plate. Olivo takes a look at a 2-4-4. Is Hitchcock an ace? No. Is Olivo a champion? No. Is he a whiffer? Yes, that is a strikeout. So Olivo strikes out swinging. The runners hold, and with 2 outs, it's going to be up to the leadoff hitter, Aaron Rowan, who unfortunately for the White Sox is the cold guy here tonight. Rowan takes a look at a 1-3-6. Is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a whiffer or cold? He is cold, and that is a strikeout. So the struggles continue for Aaron Rowan as he strikes out with runners in scoring position to end the inning. But the White Sox touch home plate again, and after 2 complete, it is the White Sox 2, the Mariners 1. Top of the third, it will be Doug Strange to lead things off, the number 9 hitter for Seattle. The pitch from Cologne is a 1-5-6. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a whiffer? Strange is a semi-whiffer, but the decider die says no. And that's going to take us over to the outfield drama chart for the first time tonight. The infield drama chart was certainly kind to the White Sox in the last inning. Let's see if their outfield can do as well. The roll is a 3-6. Is the left fielder stoic? Your left fielder tonight is Carlos Lee, and his running is neutral. So the ball will not get past him. He will make the running grab of the fly ball for the first out of the inning. So Strange hit a low line drive, and Carlos Lee was able to get over and make the catch. And there is 1 out. With the top of the order coming back up, Joey Cora, who homered to lead off the ball game, stands in. Cora against Cologne. Cologne delivers a 1-6-6. Is he a workman? No. Is Cora a whiffer? No. That's a ground out to third base. That is the second out of the inning. And as Alex Rodriguez comes to the plate, that's going to take us to the player experience chart. Rodriguez in 1996 was a prospect, and Cologne in 2003 a semi-icon. The roll is a 5-5. Full count. The batter steps out of the box. Timeout's called. Play resumes. Roll the decider die for base on balls or a strikeout. There is no ball here. The ball would be a base on balls. The blank is a strikeout. Rodriguez comes up empty, inning over. Rodriguez looks at strike 3 as Al, Red Sox fan, rings him up. Says, go grab some bets, you dirty soon-to-be Yankee. And the fans in Chicago go crazy for Al, Red Sox fan, as he rings up A-Rod to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third. The White Sox still on top, 2-1. And it is the number 2 hitter, Carlos Lee, leading off for Chicago. The pitch to Lee is a 4-6-6. Is Hitchcock a control pitcher? He's a semi-control. The decider die says yes. And the result of that reading is that the pitch is red and Lee hits a single to left field. That's one of those strange plays, but Hitchcock got a little too much of the plate with that one. And Lee stroked it into left field for a solid single to lead off the third. I believe the White Sox have had their leadoff hitter reach base in every inning thus far. And that brings to the plate the hot-hitting Maglio Ordonez for the White Sox. Ordonez takes a look at a 4-5-6. Nothing on the pitcher's card. Is the batter patient? No. Ordonez is going to hit this one into center field. It's a routine fly ball. And Ken Griffey Jr. moves under that one and makes the catch. Lee holds it first, and with one out, that brings Frank Thomas to the plate. And we'll go to the team chemistry chart. The team chemistry chart here for Frank Thomas. The White Sox are semi-harmonious. The Mariners are fully dissonant. The roll is a 3-4. Do we have batting team harmony? The decider die says yes. The batter waits for his pitch and smacks a single to the outfield. So Thomas got one he liked and drove it up the middle for a base hit. On a lead die of 3, with a normal runner at first base, Lee is going to move to third on the play. So score that a single for Frank Thomas. Lee moves over to third on the play. Thomas holds it first. And the White Sox now have runners on the corners, once again threatening, with Joe Crede coming to the plate. Crede drew a walk his first time up and made a nice defensive play to start a double play in the field. So he has been a crucial cog in the wheel tonight for Chicago, and he's got a chance to do some more damage. All right, with one out, runners at the corners. Defensively, I like to play the middle of the infield, shortstop and second base at double play depth. We'll play in at the corners to try and cut off the run on a ground ball to first or third. So Hitchcock winds and delivers to Crede. The roll is a 2-4-6. Is he a control pitcher? He is semi-control, but the decider die says no. Is Crede eager? He is semi-eager. The decider die says yes. So on the 2-4-6, that is a pop out to third base. And that is a big out for Sterling Hitchcock, as the runners are forced to hold. And Hitchcock now has a chance to get out of this inning if he can retire Paul Konerko with runners at the corners and 2 out. Ken Castro is at the ballpark. Hello, Ken Castro. How's it going, my good friend? Paul Konerko looks at a 1-5-6. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is Konerko a whiffer? No. And that's going to take us to the outfield drama chart. First time the Mariners defense has been tested tonight. Let's see what this crew can do. The roll is a 2-2. Is the center fielder gold? That's Ken Griffey Jr. He is gold indeed. He chases down a base hit, holds the runner at first with a throw. Otherwise, that would have been a single and a wild throw, and the batter to second base on the error. So it does go as a single for Konerko. And that will score Lee from third. Thomas is forced to hold at second, as Griffey saves potentially more damage on the base paths. So score that a single. Lee will score, Thomas to second, Konerko holds up at first, and it is now a 3-1 ball game, as the White Sox have plated single runs in each of the first 3 innings, and they've got a chance to do more damage once again with Tony Graffinino at the plate. Graffinino stands in against Hitchcock. 2-6-6 is the roll. Is there a runner on first? Yes, he is picked off. Oh my goodness, what a base running gaffe by Paul Konerko. I guess the ball got away from Dan Wilson at home plate. Konerko wandered a little too far off first base. Dan Wilson threw behind him alertly, and Paul Sereno lays down the tag to retire Konerko on the base paths and end the inning. So that will go as a pickoff. Score that 2-3 if you're scoring at home. And that ends the bottom of the third. But the White Sox extend the lead. It's now 3-1 as we go to the top of the fourth. Ken Griffey Jr. to lead things off against Bartolo Colon. And the roll of the first pitch of the inning is a 2-4-5. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is the batter a hero? He is not. He is a semi-champion, but is not a hero. And that will be a pop out to second base. And that will bring Edgar Martinez to the plate as we go back to the player experience chart. It is semi-icon versus semi-icon, Martinez versus Bartolo Colon. And on a roll of 2-5, do we have an icon batter? The decider die says yes. Martinez anticipates the pitch and chops a single past shortstop. Base hit for Edgar Martinez. And he pulls in at first base. And that brings Jay Buhner to the plate, representing the tying run for Seattle. The Mariners need to make things happen with the bats, because they're certainly not getting any help from Sterling Hitchcock tonight, and they are facing elimination if they win this ball game. Pitch to Buhner is a 5.66. Is the pitcher wild? No. Does the batter have a good eye? No. That goes as a strikeout. Buhner couldn't hold up on that outside curveball. Swings and misses for strike 3. Martinez holds it first. And the last hope for the Mariners here in the top of the fourth will be Paul Sorrento. The pitch to Sorrento is a 1-2-6. Is the pitcher fresh? It is the fourth inning, so he is semi-fresh. And the decider die says no. Is the batter a sad sack? No. And the result is a single past second base. Runners advance one base on the hit, and Edgar Martinez ain't going to go nowhere in a hurry given his lack of foot speed. So that is in play. That is a single, and Martinez pulls in at second. And with 2 on now, and still 2 men out, it is Dan Wilson coming to the plate. Wilson, a hero and a semi-home run king, grounded out for his first at-bat tonight. The pitch from Colon is a 1-3-6. Is Colon an ace? No. Is Dan Wilson a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says yes, and Wilson goes down swinging. The decider die giveth, and the decider die taketh away. And in this case, the decider die giveth a strikeout to Bartolo Colon to end the threat in the top of the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth, and we'll take a look at Jose Valentin leading off against Sterling Hitchcock as the White Sox seek to keep the hit parade going. The pitch from Hitchcock is a 1-1-4. Is he fresh? He is semi-fresh, and the decider die says no. Is the hitter a sad sack or patient? No. That's a single to right. Valentin hits that ball between Sorrento and Cora into right field for a base hit, and once again the leadoff batter has reached for the White Sox. Excuse me, that was Tony Graffinino at the plate, but his attributes, he is also not a utility or a sad sack or patient, so he gets the same outcome. I accidentally flipped him to the back of the stack when Konerko got picked off at first base to end the previous inning. So it's Graffinino at first, and now Valentin at the plate. Is Graffinino a threat to steal? He is a neutral runner. Catching for the Mariners is Dan Wilson. Wilson is a gold catcher, so that knocks the odds of a steal back to 1-3, which is not good enough, so Graffinino will stay put. And Jose Valentin will stand in against Hitchcock. The pitch from Hitchcock is a 1-1-1. Is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a scrapper? No. That's a home run to left field. Jose Valentin gets hold of one, and he takes one deep to left field. It is back, and it is gone. Rich Amaral can look up and wave bye-bye as Jose Valentin touches them all. And it is now a 5-1 ball game. And the folks here at U.S. Cellular Field are delighted with that result. Miguel Olivo now is the batter. And the pitch to Olivo is a 2-4-5. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter a hero? No. And that's a pop out to second base. So Hitchcock gets the first out of the inning. but the damage has been done as the White Sox are once again rolling up the crooked numbers against the Mariners. And that brings to the plate Aaron Rowand. Activity starting in the White Sox bullpen. For fatigue purposes, in History Maker Baseball, if you allow 3 consecutive guys on base, you become a semi-struggler, and 4 consecutive makes you a full struggler. I also use the Stratomatic weakness rules for big innings. If you give up 5 runs in 1 inning, 6 runs over 2 innings, or 7 runs over 3 innings, then you become a struggler. Hitchcock has not quite reached that point yet. So if he gives up another couple guys on base, we'll pull him now. If not, we'll try and get him through 5. Hello, Clinton Parks. Welcome to the chat room, and welcome to U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, as the White Sox have just taken a 5-1 lead on a home run by Jose Valentin. And with 1 out now, Aaron Rowand is the batter, and we are rolling from the player experience chart. The roll is a 4-4. Umpire calls timeout to examine and discards the ball. When play resumes, the batter takes ball 4, and that's a walk. So Rowand walks, and Sterling Hitchcock is now on at the end of his rope. 1 more on base, and we are going to pull Sterling Hitchcock. Carlos Lee wants to be that guy, as he steps in and looks at a 2-3-4. Are there runners on base? Yes, that is going to be plate drama. First time we've looked at plate drama here tonight. And the roll is a 3-4. Do we have a wild pitcher? No, we do not. So we do not have a wild pitch. Otherwise, the pitch curves in for a strike, and we go to the umpire chart. And with a man on first, we are on the page 9 of your History Maker playbook with the runner on first, and the roll is a 2-6. Do we have a respected umpire at home? We have our Red Sox fan at home. He is not a respected umpire, so we do not have a, let's see, if it's a respected umpire, the batter doubles, the base runner breaks for home and is called out. Other umpires call the runner safe. So Lee hits a double down the left field line. Rowand comes all the way around, and in a close play at the plate, our Red Sox fan calls the runner safe, and it is a 6-1 ball game. So score that, a double for Carlos Lee. Rowand comes around to score on a controversial call at home plate. Lee holds up at second, and that is going to be the end of the night for Sterling Hitchcock. Not a good performance for Hitchcock. He has given up 6 runs in only 3 1/3 inning, and he is responsible for Carlos Lee out at second base. So let's take a look at what's happening in the Mariners bullpen. They used Bob Wells for 2 innings in the previous game, Bobby Ayala for 1 inning, and Mike Jackson for 2/3 of an inning. So it's either going to be Rafael Carmona or Tim Davis. Tim Davis, the lefty, Carmona, the righty. Carmona, a semi-workman. It's going to be Rafael Carmona coming into the game. And he has enough stamina to go full 3 innings if they can push him that far. But he is going to need to stem the tide here and keep the Mariners in the ball game and hope that the bats wake up. So Hitchcock comes out of the game, and he is replaced by Rafael Carmona. And it will be Rich Amaral, the cold guy, coming to the plate to face Carmona, as Carmona will have the ace quality for this at bat, entering the game in the middle of the inning. "5-6 is the pitch to Amaral. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion or patient? He is semi-patient, and the decider die says yes. Amaral draws the walk. Excuse me, that's I picked up the wrong stack of cards. That is Maglio Ordonez. Let's rerun that. 256. Is the battery champion or patient? He is a champion, but he also draws a walk on that roll. So Ordonez draws the walk. Frank Thomas comes to the plate against Carmona as the White Sox are looking to blow this puppy wide open. The pitch to Thomas is a 1-2-4. Do we have a control pitcher? No. Is the batter eager? No. And Frank Thomas draws the base on balls. So Rafael Carmona walks the first two men he faces. Hello, Al Red Sox fan, and welcome to the chat room. In case you just joined us, there was just a close play at the plate with Al Red Sox fan, the home plate umpire, and the run scored on what looked to be a questionable call, but Al Red Sox fan is not a strict umpire, and he let the run score. The Mariners are on the brink of elimination, and the White Sox are rallying here in the bottom of the fourth. It's already a 6-1 ball game, and the White Sox are threatening to score more. As Rafael Carmona winds and delivers a 3-4-6. Nothing on the pitcher's card, thank goodness. Is the batter eager? He is semi-eager, and the decider die says no, and that is another walk. So Rafael Carmona comes in and pours gas on the fire. 3 straight walks. And Joe Creedy draws the walk and forces in run number 7. And that is going to be... That's it for Rafael Carmona. The Mariners have seen enough. He come in and walked 3 straight batters. Retires no one. And they are going to have to come with the best available guy, who is Mike Jackson, because it is an elimination game for the Mariners. And they have got to use every bullet in their gun tonight. Normally the setup guy, Michael Jackson, is in the game in the 4th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Paul Konerko at the plate. The pitch from Jackson is a 3-5-6. Are the pitcher and batter the same? Yes, they are. That is a strikeout. So Jackson gives his team a big lift. As Konerko fails to produce a run, that brings Tony Graffinino to the plate. That's why my ears were ringing when I woke up from my nap. All right, good to have you here, Al. Thank you for coming out to U.S. Cellular Field. Can Tony Graffinino do it again? He came up with the bases loaded in Game 1 and stroked a 3-run double. This time the roll is a 4-6-6. Is the pitcher a control? The decider die says yes. The pitch is red and it's a single to left field. And on a lead die of 4, all runners advance 2 bases. With 2 outs, everybody's running, and that's a 2-run single for Tony Graffinino. He continues to be Mr. Clutch for the White Sox. And this game is now a good old-fashioned trip to the woodshed. Ordonez will score. Frank Thomas will score. Nellie Fox will score. Joe Creedy holds up at 3rd. Tony Graffinino holds at 1st. And Jose Valentin comes to the plate. Valentin against Mike Jackson. The roll is a 1-3-4. Do we have a gold catcher? Yes, we do. That's Dan Wilson behind the plate, and that is a strikeout. So finally, mercifully, the inning ends, but not before the White Sox put up 6 runs and take a 9-1 lead. All right. Rich Amaral comes to the plate against Bartolo Colon. Colon can now cruise with his 8-run lead, unless the Mariners can make something happen and make it happen soon. The roll is a 3-4-6. Amaral. Nothing in the pitcher's column. Is the batter eager? No. Amaral draws the walk. Come on, Bartolo. You got an 8-run lead. Throw strikes. Oops, I got to undo that. That was not intentional walk. That was a base on balls walk. As the fans here in Cellular Field are not very happy with our Red Sox fan behind the plate. That pitch looked pretty good for me. Thus says the umpires in the stands here at U.S. Cellular Field. Doug Strange comes to the plate, and it's a 1-1-2. Is the pitcher a flash? Colon is a semi-flash. The decider die says yes, and Doug Strange goes down swinging. Amaral holds, and with one out, it is Joey Cora. Cora homered to lead off the game, but he is still the cold guy for the Mariners lineup here tonight. The pitch is a 1-2-2. Is the pitcher a workman? No. Is the batter a champ or a whiffer? No. That is a line drive out to third base. Runner holds, and Alex Rodriguez comes to the plate. A-Rod 0 for 2 tonight with a ground out and a strikeout. Our Red Sox fan took great bliss in ringing up A-Rod for the third out, on the third strike in his last at bat. This time the roll is a 2-3-5. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter eager? No. That is a ground out to second base, and that will end the inning. So we are through 4.5. We are at the halfway point of this ball game, and it is a 9-1 tail whipping. And before we finish off the game, I've got a couple of announcements for the channel. Tomorrow, Heartland Championship Wrestling returns to the airways with Atlantic Wrestling Federation action from Charlotte, North Carolina. It will be the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, defending the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship against the ravishing one, Rick Rude. Excuse me. Rick Rude made turned a few heads in his last appearance as he came to the ring accompanied by the lovely SoCal Val, as Rick Rude picked up a win over Barry Windham to defend his Dixieland Heavyweight Championship. The Dixie Championship will not be on the line tomorrow, but it will be Rick Rude taking his shot at the Nature Boy to see if he can win the Atlantic Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, and that is the top title in the territory. On Sunday, not sure what's going to happen. We'll see what's going on the channel. I may jump on to the channel, I may not. On Monday, of course, My Journey with Jesus will be back in action. And next Friday night, 1 week from tonight, it will be the second annual Midwest Basketball League All-Star Game. The superstars of the 2018-2019 NBA season representing the Midwest Basketball League will be in action, East versus West. So there will be Stratomatic basketball on the channel next Friday night. So we've got baseball, we've got wrestling, we've got basketball, we've got theology. On the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network, we've got it all. And now we've got a deadly assault in process here as the White Sox are running up the score on the hapless the Seattle Mariners. And we get back to action now with Miguel Olivo leading things off for Chicago, nursing a 9-1 lead. Michael Jackson back on the mound for his second inning of work, so he'll be semi-fresh this inning. The first roll of the inning is 2-3-5. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter eager? He is semi-eager, but the decider die says no. And the result will be a ground out to second. So finally, the Mariners managed to get the first out of the inning for the first time all night, and that will bring Aaron Rowan to the plate. 1-2-6 is the pitch to Rowan. Is the pitcher fresh? The decider die says yes. Is the batter a sad sack? He is not. Well, the decider die says yes, so that will be a line out to second base. So 2 up and 2 down for Jackson here in inning number 5. And Carlos Lee steps in. Lee 2 for 3 tonight with a single and a double. And the pitch to Lee is a 1-3-4. Do we have a gold catcher? Yes, we do. We have Dan Wilson, and that is a strikeout. As Al, Red Sox fan, rings up another one. And for the first time tonight, the White Sox have gone 3 up and 3 down. But time is running out on the Mariners as we head to the top of the 6th. Bartolo Colon still looking strong as he will face 3, 4, and 5. Griffey, Martinez, and Buhner. And if the Mariners are going to get something going, now's the time. The pitch to Griffey is a 1-4-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. That's a ground out to first base. We'll score that 3 unassisted if you're scoring at home. And as our Red Sox fan is fond of saying, you should always score at home. It's good for you. Next up is Edgar Martinez, squaring off against Bartolo Colon. Colon cruising now after the leadoff home run to Aaron Rowand. He has allowed no more runs and only 4 hits over the last 5+ innings. 1-3-6 is the pitch to Martinez. Is Colon an ace? No. Is Martinez a whiffer or cold? He is a semi-whiffer, and the decider die says yes. So Martinez swings and misses. And that is out number 2, and that brings Jay Buhner to the plate. Buhner now with 2 outs facing Colon. The pitch is a 3-5-6. Is the pitcher and batter the same? Yes, they are. Both are righties, and that's a strikeout. Colon rings up another one, and we are through the top of the 6th, and it is still a 9-1 ball game. We are going to go one more inning with Mike Jackson. He is in his last potential inning of work, so he is not fresh or semi-fresh. Leading off Maglio Ordonez with a 2-2-6. Is the batter hit by a pitch? The decider die says no. Is Ordonez the cleanup batter? No, he is the 3-hole hitter. Is he a whiffer? The decider die says yes, and that's a strikeout. Ordonez was swinging for the fences, and he came up empty on that play. 1 out now for Frank Thomas. Thomas, a 1-1-2. Is the pitcher a flash? He is fully a flash, and that's a strikeout. So 2 up and 2 down by way of strikes for Michael Jackson here in the bottom of the 6th. And that brings third baseman Joe Crede to the plate. Crede 0 for 1, but has walked twice and made a stellar defensive play for the White Sox. 1-3-6 is the roll. Is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says no. Is he cold? He is not cold. So that takes us to the infield drama chart. Infield drama for the Mariners. The roll is a 1-1. Is the pitcher iron? The pitcher is a neutral fielder, so he does not botch the play on the ground ball to the mound. He makes the stab, pitches it over to first base for the ground out to end the inning. So 3 up and 3 down again for the White Sox, as Michael Jackson has settled down and he is keeping his team in the game, but it's probably too little and too late. So score that 1-3 on the ground out, and that takes us to the top of the 7th, with the Mariners still facing that 8-run deficit. This is like one of the softball games I used to play. And as we would say back in the day, 8 to tie, 9 to take the lead. Hope springs eternal. As the number 6 hitter, Paul Sorrento, comes to the plate. Sorrento takes a look at a 4-4-5. Is the pitcher a workman? No. Is the batter patient? He is semi-patient, but the decider die says no. And that's a ground out to first base. Sorrento has swung at ball 4 and grounded it weakly to Konerko, who flips it over to the fleet-footed Bartolo Colon for the out at first. That brings Dan Wilson to the plate. Wilson 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out against Colon. And on a roll of 2-3-4, are there runners on base? No. Is Wilson a hot batter? He is not. and the result is a ground out to second. So Cologne just continues to mow him down as Rich Amaral comes to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on and a 4-4-6. Is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a sad sack or a utility or patient? He is semi-patient, but the decider die says no. And the result of that is a single to right. And that takes us to the player experience chart. First base runner the Mariners have had in a minute. And with the player experience chart, we've got Doug Strange, who is neutral, facing Bartolo Colon, who is a semi-icon. The role is a 2-3. Do we have a prospect pitcher? No. So there will not be a momentary lapse in focus. Bartolo Colon instead keeps his focus and retires Doug Strange on a ground out to second. And that ends the inning. So Colon continues to cruise, and in the middle of the 7th, it's still a 9-1 ball game. And you know what the middle of the 7th means. It means it's time for Dave Gardner. You're just in time, Dave, to sing for us the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game, Dave. You are on. Take me out to the ball game. I want to see Dave Gardner and Al Red Sox fan, Clinton Portis and Ken Castro. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right. No extra charge for the entertainment. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, Michael Jackson will be taken down, and the new pitcher for the Mariners will be Tim Davis, because he has the most innings to burn. So Jackson got off to a little bit of a slow start, but settled down and coasted through the last 2 innings. And now Tim Davis comes to the mound. Davis, a lefty, who is a semi-flash and has no other characteristics. So just a run-of-the-mill, just a guy. And the question from Dave Gardner. Dave, how do you like this compared to other baseball games? Dave Gardner, this game is a lot of fun. It's fun to roll the dice. It's fun to read the charts. I would not rely on this game if I was doing a project that I was taking the statistics very seriously. For stats, I want something like Stratomatic, or potentially I would look at Action PC or Replay or one of the other, real stat-driven ball games. But just in terms of a fun experience, you talked on your podcast a few weeks ago about doing things on the side just for fun. And this is my best team I've ever seen tournament. As you know, if you've been following this tournament, these are all teams that I have seen live in their home ballparks over the course of the years, dating back to 1988 when I began my quest to see all of the Major League Baseball teams, which only took me 28 years to finish. But I digress. This game is a barrel of fun. I love it for the gameplay. And just it's a very laid back, relaxing, fun game to play. It is not the first game I would take out of the box for statistical accuracy, nor was it designed to be. So those are my feelings on History Maker Baseball. Now, Paul Konerko comes to the plate for the White Sox, leading off against Tim Davis. Lefty against right-hand batter. The first pitch from Davis is a 2-3-4. Are there runners on base? No. Is Konerko a hot batter? He struck out his last time at the plate. He is not a hot batter. And Konerko swings and hits a weak pop-up to Doug Strange at third base. Strange makes the play for the first out, and that brings Tony Graffinino to the plate. Graffinino against Tim Davis. The pitch is a 2-5-6. Is Davis a struggler? No. Is Graffinino a champion or patient? No. We go back to the infield drama chart. Oops. And the infield drama chart gives us a 3-4. Is the third baseman gold? Your third baseman tonight is the aforementioned Doug Strange. He is a neutral fielder. So on a roll of 3-4, he is not able to make the diving stop. Instead, the ball gets past him for a base hit. And Graffinino is now 3 for 4. That brings Jose Valentin to the plate. Valentin with a big home run back in the 4th inning. And that was pretty much the game breaker for this one. Chicago had already jumped out to the lead, but when Valentin hit the 2-run bomb, that was the last nail in the coffin for Sterling Hitchcock and the Mariners. The pitch to Valentin is a 1-1-6. Is the pitcher fresh? Yes, he is. That's a strikeout. Graffinino holds it first, and with 2 men out, the batter is the catcher, Miguel Olivo. 2-3-6 is the pitch to Olivo. Is the pitcher a double control or dynamic? No. Is this a pitcher batting? No. Miguel Olivo draws a walk. And that will bring to the plate the cold guy for the White Sox, Aaron Rowand. The pitch to Rowand, 2-3-6. Double controller, that's the exact same roll, and that's going to be another base on balls. As Rowand draws the 2-out walk to load the bases. I swear I shook the dice. Carlos Lee is the batter. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Tim Davis in a little bit of trouble here. And the roll is a 2-3-6. That's the same roll 3 times in a row. Do you believe it? And that is going to go as another walk. I think the different dice were the different colors. But that's another walk, and that makes Davis now a semi-struggler. And he will become a full struggler if he can't retire Maglio Ordonez. Let's blow on those dice and see if we can get something other than a 2-3-6. It's a 1-1-6. Is the pitcher fresh? He is still fresh. That is a strikeout to end the inning. So Davis gives up 1 run, and it's now a 10-1 ball game. And I hope you're enjoying the camaraderie of the chat room, because there ain't much to see on the diamond anymore. We may see if Bartolo Colon can go the distance. He just needs 6 more outs. And he's got a 9-run lead. As Joey Cora steps to the plate, top of the order leading off for the Mariners here in the top of the 8th. 3-4-4 is the first roll of the inning. Is the pitcher a prospect? No. Bartolo Colon hasn't been a prospect since the Middle Ages. Is the batter patient? No. That is a pop out to second base. And that is the first out of the inning, and that brings Alex Rodriguez to the plate. Hey, Rod, your batter. 2-3-4 is the roll. Are there runners on base? No. Is A-Rod a hot batter? He grounded out his last at bat, so he is not. And A-Rod swings and hits a pop-up to third baseman Joe Creedy for the second out of the inning. And that will bring Ken Griffey Jr. to the plate. Jr. doubled in the first inning, but has flied out and grounded out since. And now on a roll of 3-4-5, do we have an iron catcher? Catching is Miguel Olivo for the White Sox tonight. I don't think he's iron. No, he is a neutral fielder. So continuing on, does the batter have a good eye? No. That is a strikeout. So Griffey strikes out to end the top of the 8th inning. And that brings the White Sox to the plate in the bottom of the 8th. And that will take us on a 3-4-5 to the baseball right now chart. As Frank Thomas steps in against Tim Davis to lead off the bottom of the 8th. White Sox coming to the plate for what they hope will be the final time. The roll is a 1-5. Do we have a cold batter? Thomas struck out his last at bat, so he is cold. And he watches as the third strike catches the outside corner for the strikeout. Oh my goodness, Al, Red Sox fan, rings him up. Thomas turns to complain, and our Red Sox says, "Sit down, Big Hurt. You got a 10-1 lead. I want to go home." So Frank Thomas looks at strike 3. And even the fans here at U.S. Cellular Field, both of the fans that are still in the stands, offering no complaints as the White Sox continue to enjoy that 9-run lead. Joe Creedy is up, and on a 2-3-5, is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter eager? He is semi-eager. Is he a whiffer? He is a semi-whiffer. The decider die says no, so that will be a single past the shortstop. First hit of the game for Creedy to go along with 2 walks, and that brings the beloved Paul Konerko to the plate. Pitch from Davis is a 3-4-6. Nothing on the pitcher's column. Is Konerko eager? No. Konerko draws the walk. Once again, Tim Davis is pitching himself into some trouble here as Tony Graffinino comes to the plate, and we go to the team chemistry charts. Al Red Sox fan says, "You are out and I have a dinner date. We don't want to keep Nurse Teresa waiting now, do we, Al?" The pitch to Graffinino on the chemistry chart is a 5-5. Do we have pitching team dissonance? Yes, we do. Catcher misses a foul ball. The next pitch is hit through the infield for a single. So things going from bad to worse for the White Sox. With 1 man out, a lead die of 5. Runners advance 2 bases on the single, unless the lead runner is stoic. Joe Creedy is indeed stoic, so he will pull up at third base. Not that he was going to hustle around the bases with a 9-run lead, but the bases are now loaded with 1 man out, and that makes Tim Davis a semi-struggler as Jose Valentin comes to the plate. He has singled and homered. Do we come with Bobby Ayala? Yeah, we should come with Bobby Ayala. Although Bobby Ayala is a full struggler, and Tim Davis is now only a semi-struggler. So we'll let Davis pitch to 1 more batter. That's how bad Bobby Ayala is. 2-2-5 is the roll on the pitch from Davis. Infield is back. And on a 2-2-5, is the pitcher a star? No. Is the batter a slugger? He is a semi-slugger, but the decider die says no. And the result is a base hit to center. So everybody moves up 90 feet. And Valentin knocks in another run with that base hit. And that is going to be the end of the night for Tim Davis. And now we will see the worst pitcher on a horrendous Mariners staff, Bobby Ayala. Ayala in the previous game pitched 1 inning. And it probably wasn't a good one. As with the bases loaded and 1 out now, Miguel Olivo is your batter. The score is now 11-1 if anybody's still keeping track. And on a 1-2-6, is the pitcher fresh? Yes, he's fresh. He's got that going for him. And that is a line out to second base. So the runners will hold. And Aaron Rowan comes to the plate with the bases loaded now. And the White Sox up by 10. Pitch to Ayala is a 2-6-6, and that's a runner on first thrown out. There we go again. That's twice we've had that tonight. And this time it is Jose Valentin on first who went to sleep. Paul Sorrento pulls the hidden ball trick, and the inning is over. Actually, you need to redo that. Valentin is out at first. We'll just say tagged out, 3 unassisted. And enough of this nonsense. Maybe Valentin just chose to give himself up out of sheer out of sheer boredom. Let's see if Bartolo Colon can finish what he started. It is an 11-1 ball game. And it is 4, 5, and 6. Martinez, Buhner, Sorrento for the Mariners. And the first pitch to Martinez is a 3-5-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion? He is a semi-champion, and the decider die says yes. So Martinez will lead off with a double. And that'll bring Jay Buhner to the plate. The fans at Cellular Field here want Colon to finish the ball game. There is action in the bullpen, and the fans are not very happy about that. The pitch to Buhner is a 5-5-6. Is Colon an ace? No. Is Buhner a sad sack? No. That's a double to right field, and that's going to score Martinez. It is an 11-2 ball game. Bump, 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 bump. Most of the fans are on their way to the parking lot. They're going to give Colon one more shot to retire Sorrento. And on a 1-3-4, do we have a gold catcher? We have a neutral catcher. Is the pitcher a champion? No. We go to the outfield drama chart. Can Colon's outfield save the day for him? The role is a 3-5. Is the left fielder gold? The left fielder is Carlos Lee. He is neutral. So the result of that play on a 3-5 will be a looping fly ball that drops into the gap for a double. So Sorrento hits yet another double. That's going to score another run. And with the score now 11-3, Bartolo Colon is going to leave the game to a very pleasant round of applause from the 2 or 3 guys left here at U.S. Cellular Field. Everybody else left when the beer stand closed. So who will come into the game for the White Sox? They got a very solid performance from Esteban Loaiza in the last game and had to use very little bullpen. And in fact, neither Tom Gordon nor Billy Koch has appeared in this entire series. So they're going to bring Billy Koch into the ball game. See if he can hold on to what is now an 8-run lead. First appearance in the tournament for Billy Koch. Rough year in 2003, full struggler, but he was a good pitcher back in the day. Had some good years as a closer, I believe, for the Texas Rangers, if I recall correctly. Dan Wilson is your batter, with Sorrento still at second base. Still nobody out here in the ninth. And the pitch from Billy Koch is a 1-2-5. Is he a struggler? Yes, he is. And that is a swing, and that is a deep drive and a fence check. Dan Wilson is a semi-home run king. The decider die says he is a home run king. So as we go to the fence check, on a roll of 5, that is a home run. So Dan Wilson goes out of the yard, and it is now an 11-5 ball game. A little uneasiness among the 3 guys still in the ballpark for the White Sox here in Chicago, as Rich Amaral comes to the plate. He is the cold guy, so we might pull him and bring in a left-handed batter who can play the outfield, and that is going to be the semi-hero Darren Bragg. So Amaral is taken down in favor of Darren Bragg, as the Mariners are not going to go quietly into the night. Bragg batting lefty against Billy Koch, the right-handed pitcher. 3-3-5 is the roll. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter a sad sack? No. Single to right field and a stolen base. With a 6-run lead, you're not likely to be stealing, but Bragg is a semi-active runner, and maybe he just takes second base on defensive indifference. But we will call that a single. Bragg goes to second on the stolen base. And that brings Doug Strange to the plate. And let's see, Billy Koch is already a struggler, so the fact that he's given up 3 straight hits means he's still a struggler. One more though, and we're going to pull him. 156 is the roll. Nothing on the pitcher's column, thank goodness. Is the batter a whiffer? The decider die says no, and that takes us back to the outfield drama chart. Things are getting interesting here in U.S. Cellular Field in the top of the 9th. What's going to happen on the outfield drama chart? The roll is a 3-4. Is the left fielder iron? That is Carlos Lee. I believe he is a neutral fielder. Yes, he is a neutral fielder. So on the roll of 3-4, he is not going to lose the handle of the routine fly ball. Instead, he makes the catch for the first out of the inning, and Bragg will hold at second. So that is a fly out to left. Bragg holds, and with 1 out now, we go back to the top of the order for Joey Cora. Cora is... Oh, I goofed that up. Amaril's not the cold guy. Amaril's the hot guy. But we pulled him anyways. And Cora is actually the cold guy. But on a roll of 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter because that is going to be both flash and fresh. No, that's a ground out to shortstop. And on a lead die of 1, let's see, that is not going to be a double play because Bragg is at second base. But Valentin looks the runner back, fires to first base for the second out as the runner holds. And now Alex Rodriguez comes to the plate with a chance to be the final out of the ball game. A-Rod looks at a 3-3-5. Is the pitcher wild? No. Is the batter a sad sack? No. That's a single to right and another stolen base. And with Bragg running at second, he will score. That makes it an 11-6 ball game and a 5-run inning for the Mariners. So 7-8. Still not quite a save situation yet. I think we need a couple more guys on base before this becomes a save situation. But with Ken Griffey Jr. coming to the plate, we're going to go to the lefty out of the White Sox bullpen. Let's see who we got. The one lefty in the bullpen is, actually we've got 2, Kelly Wunsch and Damaso Marte. Marte pitched in game 1 of the series, so we're going to go with Kelly Wunsch, who is a star and a flash and semi-wild. So the White Sox are having to go deeper into their bullpen than they had hoped. But if they sweep the series, they get a day off, so still things looking favorable for Chicago despite this little 9th inning hiccup that they are facing. So Kelly Wunsch is in the ball game as your new pitcher, and he will face Ken Griffey Jr. And since he's coming in the middle of the inning, he will be both a star and an ace. The pitcher Griffey, 1-3-5. We go to the random events chart. And with a lead die of 1, it is a ballpark. Remember, this is a small ballpark. So things could happen here that would favor the Mariners. On a roll of 1-4. Is it a small ballpark? The decider die says yes. Fan in bleachers celebrates catch of home run ball. Other parks, outfielder makes the routine grab for a fly out. So that ball is hit to the right field wall. Jeffrey Meyer is in the ballpark, and he makes the catch of that home run ball. And Ken Griffey has just gone yard for the Mariners. How about that? This game is hilarious. And see, if Dave Gardner's here, that's why I love this game, is because things like that happen that you get to enjoy unlike any other ball game. So that makes it now 11-8, and it brings Edgar Martinez to the plate. And now they've got Tom Gordon, the closer, up in the bullpen. as we've got righty-righty lefty coming up. It is a 7-run inning for the Mariners, but the tying run is still 2 batters away. So we're going to see if Wunsch can finish this one against Martinez. The pitch to Martinez is a 4.55. Is the pitcher a flash? Yes, he is. That is a strikeout, and mercifully this ball game is over. Edgar Martinez swings through strike 3. Al Red Sox fan behind the plate rings him up, and mercifully the final score 11-8 as the Mariners come up with 7 runs in the 9th, but too little too late. And boy, does that ever remind me of my softball days. All right, so your final score is 11-8. The starting pitchers are the pitchers of record. Colon cruised through 8 innings before running into trouble in the 9th. He gets the win, and the loss will be pinned on Sterling Hitchcock. Let's take a look at the box scores. First, let's take a look at the Mariners hitting. The Mariners belted 3 home runs. Joey Cora to lead off the game. Ken Griffey Jr. in the 9th, and Wilson also, I believe, in the 9th. Yeah, it would have had to been the 9th. They scored 1 in the 1st and 7 in the 9th. And those were your home runs. 2 RBIs for Griffey, 2 RBIs for Wilson on the homers. Sorrento with 3 hits for the Mariners. And that's it for the Seattle hitters. For the White Sox batting, 4 RBIs for Jose Valentin on the home run. Another 2 runs batted in for Graffinino after the big hit in Game 1. Aaron Rowand also with the leadoff homer, as the White Sox on the night totaled 14 hits, including 4 for Graffinino. 4 singles for Tony Graffinino. 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. Jose Valentin 3 for 5, 1 run scored, and 4 batted in on the home run. All right, everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. It has been fun. Dave Gardner, Clinton Parks, our Red Sox fan, Ken Castro. I can't begin to express how much fun this was. Clinton Parks, if I missed you. We had some folks on earlier in the ball game. I think Philip Reynolds was here and Randy Luxembourg. So once again, sports are on the back burner in real life for now because of the coronavirus. And God bless everybody who has been affected by that. The patients, the families, the family members, certainly everybody who has been affected by the economic impact of this virus. As Stuart Scott used to say, when you hit your knees tonight, send one up for everybody who has been affected by the coronavirus. Thank you all for coming out to tonight's ball game. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for Heartland Championship Wrestling, and maybe there's more good stuff coming up here in YouTubeville tonight. But thank you all. That's our stream, and I am out of here.